Hello everyone, this is video number 2 for modeling a human hand inside of Maya. This is where we left off on our last project. We have our hand created, we have fingers created for the hand, we just have to attach them now. Before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the history right now. If you're not familiar with the history of Maya, everything is recorded in the history. It usually records to about 20. You can set the preferences to what you want to be set at. But if you look over here in the inputs, Maya keeps track of all your history, and this can get kind of long. The longer it gets, the more resources Maya will start wrapping up from your computer. So you might start getting some kind of lag reactions when you start manipulating the viewport when you're moving yourself around through it. So we don't really need to keep any history in that. History is mandatory when you're doing animating, but for right now, we're done moving forward on this part of the modeling, so we go ahead and clean up the history and free up some of our resources. So I have, in most of my tools I use all the time, I have a delete history already in my shelf. If you want to add to your shelf, as I always say, hit Control Shift left mouse button on delete history. You can find delete history underneath edit, delete by type, history, and then all your history will go away and it's nice and clean again. Alright, so now we're going to work on attaching these fingers to this hand. So to do that, we need to combine these two objects. But before I do that, I'm going to delete these interfaces here where it's going to attach. Just select the places and hit delete. Now I'll go back to my object mode. Just select both of those. And then I'll go to combine. So combine, there's two different places. Obviously, there's combine in your mesh right here. It says combine, or you can, if you're in your polygons tab, this icon right here is your combine tool. I like doing this. I like doing everything that is not in the drop downs. If I can put it on a shelf, that helps my my workflow. So that's the way I'm going to go, and I recommend you guys kind of pile on. So we'll go ahead and combine those two meshes. And now we're going to go back to component mode into vertex component mode. And we're going to combine the vertices to the respective corners here. So we'll connect this one to this one, this one to this one, so forth, going all the way around, and even that inner one. So to combine vertexes, you simply, well, I have an icon right here for combining vertexes, but it's also underneath edit mesh, and there's merge components, there's merge components to center, and there's connect components, and all those will kind of work for you. I think that even in edge mode, I think you can use merge components now. Let's go ahead and just give that a go. Go to connect component. Nope. Okay, that one didn't work. I didn't actually try that one before I did this video. I'll just do the good old one I'm very familiar with. And we'll go to merge components. So again, I just have these two vertexes selected to merge components. I'm going to open the option box and just show you that there's this threshold setting here. If they don't snap together, it's because your threshold's too low. This should be just good though. So we'll go ahead and do that again. If I want to make it to where there's not a pulling, I want to have the vertex a little closer. So if I wanted to have this vertex not actually tug the other one down, then I'd want to make it to where it's on top of it. And I could do vertex snapping and make it to where this one's right on top of them, and then merge the two of them together. On these corners here, I kind of do want a little bit of rounding, so I actually am going to let the merge to center happen. Go to merge components. And from here on out, I'm going to use my icon, or maybe even just the G key, just to repeat the last command. Get that translate tool out of my way. Okay, yeah, I think the G key is the way I want to go. Alright, hit G, going all the way around. Gotta make sure you select the vertexes you're actually after. If you select them from the other side of the hand, you might have something connected you didn't want. So yes, now I'm diving on the inside of this hand here, and everything's black because it's telling you that the normals are on the outside, which that's fine. That's where we want them. Normals is the side that Maya rendered. So if you have a normals facing out and you're rendering like that, it'll make it to where what Maya is going to render is going to be what's on the outside here. If it's black, it means that your faces are on, or your normals are facing inward, and you have to flip them back around. Little tidbit of information for later on when we do mapping. Doesn't have a whole lot to do with what we're doing right now, but since the opportunity arises, I decided I'd go ahead and talk about it for a second. Okay, so we got our first finger attached. Okay. Well, besides the original finger that we created. Go ahead and delete history again. We're going to move on to the other fingers. I'll just go ahead and delete history on all these guys. I don't already have any history. Okay. Delete these two faces here. Delete that one. Okay. Now I just gotta fit this guy together. Alright, so first thing I gotta do is combine them. So I'll select both these fingers and I'll go to combine. And now I will go ahead and stitch all these vertexes together. This one here seems to be a little bit problematic, so I'm going to go ahead and select it first, then I'll zip in onto the inside here and merge those vertexes. Oh, that's good. You don't have to be on the inside of the hand like I am right now. It's just I was already in here, so I'm just continuing on. I'm comfortable with it. If that scares you, just do what works best for you. You don't have to use my exact methodology to this. Alright. Now we just got to do our pinky. Go back to our object mode. Select these two. Combine them. Delete the history. Go to face mode. Delete those two faces, and let's get stitching again. Go to vertex mode, and this one's going to be a little bit different of an animal since we got so much pushback here. But let's just go ahead and start stitching and see what it looks like. Might have to do some point pulling to get it to look correct, but we'll see here. Go ahead and do a merge vertex there. Those might be a little too far apart, so I'll get that one a little closer. There we go. This one may be a little too far apart as well, so I'll help it out a little bit. Okay. And for the inner, just want to select that one in the back there. I don't know why. There we go. And then there's this upper one here. There we go. And then we'll delete our history. Okay. So now we got our 4 fingers. Now we just need a thumb. So a thumb's a completely different animal. We're going to go ahead and select some faces here. And so yeah, I'm even going to use 4 faces just to kind of get something going a little different. Okay, so I got this little part here where the thumb's going to start coming away, and I'm going to go back to edge mode and kind of finesse this forward a little bit. Alright. Extrude this one out one more time. Now this is going to be kind of, this little bulge here is where the knuckle is going to be at for the thumb. And okay. Alright, so hang on a second, my dog's scratching. Move this chair away. Alright, so now we're going to extrude down to the second knuckle, which is the one right before the fingernail. Okay. I go to edge mode and kind of give us a little bit of a lift here, get some roundness to it. Okay. Alright, so we're going to do the same kind of thing we did here with these ridges here for the next knuckle. We're going to give it a couple extrudes that are going to go up. Okay, so all I did was went up, out, and then down with a couple different extrudes if that was hard to follow. So you can see from here, I just went up and over, one more extrude went over, next one extrude went down, and I'm going to have one last extrude that's going to be where the thumbnail is. Let's see if I get a little bit of a rotation here to where it's not so straight out. No, I don't really quite like that. Alright, so we'll just go ahead and do an extrude. This is going to go straight out to be the thumb, the nail part on it. Okay. Okay, and one more extrude just to get the roundness at the end of the thumb. Okay, and I'm going to fix some of those ridges here that don't quite look right to me. Select the edge ring. Okay, that's trying to kind of look like what a thumb should look like, I guess. Still got some of these weird kind of hump over here when it should be, all this should be kind of like curved up over here. So I'm just going to do some vertex manipulation. Let's go to vertex mode and just kind of move these guys around to where it looks more like what I'm after. Can't rely on extrude exclusively. You got to be able to do a little bit of manipulation on your own. That's looking a little bit better. I'm going to select these. I don't think I have some vertexes on the other side. Deselect those. Okay, I'm going to grab some of these vertexes here on the side. I'm going to soften them up so I get a little bit of a roundness to the thumb here. Same thing on the other side, so it's not so squarish. Sure, I don't have anything selected in there. There we go. Alright. I'll give a little bit of a rise to the top here. I think that's going to be necessary as well. Okay, a little bit to the bottom as well. Grabbing vertexes like this all individually is called point pulling, in case I forgot to mention that. Okay, so now we have a little bit of softness to this object. The thumb. That looks like an okay looking mitt. I'm gonna, if you look at your hand, that's kind of where the pinky connects. It connects right here, has a little bit of a roundness, and then it starts to taper when it comes back to the wrist. So I'm going to cause a little bit of a taper at the end here and kind of like lead back into a wrist. So I shift selected, selected all those faces, and then deselected them. Just going to delete those end faces. I'll select the edge loop here. And let's scale those together. Not too drastically though. Okay. Then we'll do it one more time. This will be like where it connects down to the wrist. Oops. Gotta be careful about extrude gizmo since it has all the tools attached to it at once. This circular one here is for rotation. The squares in the end will activate scale, and the arrows are for translation. So if you accidentally select one, it could send that you didn't mean to. It can mean your model's going to get scaled or rotated, or the extrusion piece of it anyways. So just be careful when you're doing it. Know what you're doing while you're doing it. Okay, so this actually might be a little bit far for the wrist. Okay. Select that one there. Move it up just a little bit. Okay. That looks pretty good. Our video is starting to run a little bit long again, but I did want to create some knuckles at the top here. Let's see if okay, that's what I thought. There used to be a setting that was keep faces together, and it appears they may have taken that out, so I'm going to have to do these individually, or I'll have to check and see where the keep faces function has been put. Otherwise, when we extrude, it'll extrude all these at the same time rather than individually. Anyways, okay, we can do it individually. It's not a big deal. It doesn't take very long. Let's extrude this one together. Get a little bump. I'm not looking to make brass knuckles here. We're just looking for a little bit of a bump to indicate that there's knuckles right there. Okay, so go ahead and delete the history. For mine, I have to do a little bit of an adjustment before I check the smooth feature. Go in my attributes and turn it to my Catmull Clark. Like apparently there's a bug, and I got on mine where if I don't do that, then when I go to smooth my hand, it will crash Maya. So I just have to do that extra little step before I test it out. See what my hand looks like. Alright, there's a smooth version of my hand thus far. That's not too bad. I mean, we can do some alterations on it to make it have a little bit better anatomy. Give it a little bit more slope here and much better concave on the bottom. But in general, I think that's a good start for just doing a hand. Maybe I'll create one more video that will add a little extra details. That'll give us a little bit more indication of like the bone structure that goes up to these knuckles, a little bit better slant, and maybe some fingernails, and we'll add some little bit of texture into the bottom here. That'll be the palm of the hand, and we'll do that all in the next video. So we'll see you then. Thank you.